Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Today is April 8th, 2025. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. We have the agenda here, maybe a little bit hidden, but the agenda over on the left-hand side of the shared screen. And in the background is our YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and jump to number 2 first. So youtube.com/the @business paralegal will take you to our training library. This is where we post most daily trainings. So there's lots of trainings on here. So I'm hesitant to say that you should go listen to all of them because it could take quite a bit of time. But if you are new with us or you're considering becoming a reseller, this is a pretty good place to go get a deeper understanding because we don't repeat the same topic every day. And in many cases, we've had targeted discussions. And so you can scroll through by title or by description and view those that you would like to view. Sometimes we get asked, well, which ones are the most important? Well, in general, the most recent ones are probably the most valuable because if you go back a year or 2 years ago, we probably have changed some since then. But if you had to just pin me to the wall and say, what's the one most important to view, I would scroll down and I would go to this one right here that says broker on it with the gentleman with the sparkly fingertip. If there's just one that you view, this is the one that I would view. The reason being is it gives you very practical and hands-on instructions of how to develop referral partners with others who are in the lending space by having them refer to you their declines. And if that doesn't all make sense, that's okay. But if you go to our YouTube channel, scroll down, so I don't know the date, it doesn't say, it says 2 months ago. But if you go to this one here, it's the only one with the gentleman in the blue suit that says broker. This would be probably the most important one. But many of the topics you might find useful. I want to put it in perspective because I know this is a side gig for most of you. And I know that the average reseller does a deal a day. So you're spending most of your time doing other things, which is fine. You're making 5,000 up front and then 5 points on the back end. I would suggest that if you are average or above average, making 25,000 or more a week upfront, let alone the back end, it would make sense to spend time to kind of get more knowledgeable about what we do and how we do it. But again, that's at your discretion. The beauty about being a reseller is you earn exactly what you're worth. Unlike being an employee where you're worried about getting a raise or changing companies to get a better comp plan, you will earn exactly what you're worth as a reseller because you make 5,000 up front, 5 points on the back end. The average reseller is doing a deal a day. So any questions on the training library? When each of you signed up, if you have signed up as a reseller, we sent you the implementation packet email, and it had a link to this channel. Some of you, and it also had a link to register for the live trainings, but some of you don't seem to be aware of that. Are we good on number 2? I know we went out of order. Okay, good. Now let's go back up to number 1, which kind of is similar. If you are currently a reseller, we need to make sure that you're open for business. And so what that means is if you let us know that you wanted to be a reseller, there's no contract to sign, no money to pay. We should have sent you that implementation packet that I just made reference to. Within it, it has, again, the links to the library, link to the live training, but also has the editable client agreement. You should have gone in there and edited your information, change the pricing the way that you want, and then you're open for business normally within 15 minutes or so. So Does anyone need help getting open for business? Back to agenda item number 1. If so, comment there in the Q&A and we'll figure out what we need to do. But it's very simple. The biggest challenge that we face is some of you have the inability to edit a Word document, so you kind of get frozen. And if you have the inability to edit a Word document, we may want to pair you up with one of our other resellers, or if you have a state director. So Christopher says he needs help. What do you need help with, Christopher? If you could type that in. All right, Natasha says she needs to get open for business. Okay, so for both of you, have both of you signed up as a reseller? And that's done on 509 Pacific. I can pull that up here. Let's go to 509 Pacific. And so in 509 Pacific, you come here, we call it grant coordinator, which means the same as reseller. You're going to put in your name, your email, your phone. Now, if a state director invited you, you're going to want to reference that you were referred in by Danielle or by Claude, whoever your state director is. So that way we can link you and they. All right, but if you need other specific assistance, let us know. And at the bottom of 509 Pacific is our phone number and email. But let's get back over to our agenda. So getting open for business is very simple. Take the client agreement, edit it with your information. Most of you are using DocuSign or Adobe for e-signatures and have clients sign it. All right, so our main topic today is earning overrides. And again, we're not MLM, we're not network marketing, certainly not a Ponzi scheme, but we pay out overrides. And that's not uncommon in the financial industry. Look at realtors, brokers make an override from the realtors. In the insurance industry, very common for overrides. So in the financial service world, doesn't mean that it's MLM or network marketing just because there's overrides. We pay out, I think, the best override system in the country because we literally do a match. So the overrides that you earn are the same as the frontline production. So both the reseller and the override earns $5,000 up front. Both the reseller and the override is 5 points at the back end. So they mirror each other. And we had a training on that right here. So if you've not watched this training that says Fast Money from just a couple days ago, 3 days ago, this is, I think it was last Friday, this is where we went through an economic model. This will help you understand the dollars and cents a lot more. But it just makes sense to build an organization because there's only so much time in the day and other people know other people that you don't know. So I think it's illogical to not go build a team. And frankly, you might build a team of people that are better at selling than you are because you can manage a sales organization. Think of being a coach of a basketball or a baseball team. The coach isn't necessarily the best free throw shooter on the basketball team, or maybe can't even dunk anymore. But the bottom line is you can be a coach and have your players out there helping clients with the Shelf Corp and making money themselves and yourself. So it makes sense to do. It's almost illogical not to do it. But let's dig deeper into that. The first question that has to be asked is who makes a good reseller? So we've got, let's pick someone here. We got Jocelyn on. So let's say Jocelyn says, Tom, you're right. I need to go build a team. It makes sense to have a team that's making money, and Jocelyn wants to make those matching overrides. Can't question that. Makes all the sense in the world. Passive income for Jocelyn. But let's say Jocelyn asks us as a group, well, who should I talk to about becoming a reseller? What advice would you give Jocelyn? Anyone type into the Q&A, who would you recommend that Jocelyn approach about becoming a reseller on his team? What do you think, Joe, Lawrence, Michael B., Natasha, anyone? We got 534 of you on. Who can give some advice to Jocelyn or anyone else that says, yeah, I want to earn overrides, but I need to figure out who to talk to about becoming a reseller on my team. Who should Jocelyn go talk to? And we'll expand this out. Well, Joe says everyone. Well, and so that's not a bad idea, because there's lots of people that want to generate income that maybe are not as financially successful as you are. And so they're looking at ways to earn extra income. So I don't disagree with Joe, but is everyone an equally good prospect? I would argue no, not everyone is equally good. I would say that individuals who have small business owner relationships are the best. Well, let's not say the best, are better than the general population. Because when you go to everyone, what you're going to do is you're going to get some people that have no sales experience, and they're going to be a drag on you because they don't know how to sell. They don't have background in selling. They don't know the importance of follow-up and persuasion. So everyone, you're going to get a mixed bag. But if you target those reseller prospects that already have small business relationships, and that ties back to what we were talking about on this broker here. The concept of this training was to go to loan brokers and ask for them to refer to you their declines, the people that have come to them to apply for a business loan, an MCA, credit card, business credit cards, whatever it is that they pitch, and just simply ask them for their declines. Because you and I, we work with subprime and prime clients. We don't restrict it to only prime clients. So bad credit's not a problem for us. So this is an important area. Some of you that go out and start developing a team of resellers, it seems like you're adding your relatives and your neighbors, and so you're kind of falling into this bucket here. The chance, and that's fine, it's not wrong, but the chances that they're going to produce is very slim because they probably don't have a sales background, and they probably don't have the existing small business owner relationships. All right, Michael brings up a more specific list. He says, well, realtors, attorneys, insurance brokers, bankers, etc. And that's absolutely right, because if we were to call it the entrepreneurial ecosystem, so who are other professionals that interface with small business owners? And that kind of ties to this, but this is a more specific list. So if you want to build a team of resellers, cost you nothing, cost them nothing, but we do need to be cognizant that some people are a better fit than others. And if they don't have small business relationships and they don't have a background in sales, I think you're going to become very frustrated because there's going to be a lot of hand holding. We have some folks that come to us that want to be a reseller, and their first question is, well, how do I sell something? Well, we're not set up to give sales 101 training. A reseller should be someone that's competent in learning the proposition, presenting the proposition, and closing deals. Okay, so that's the who. Now let's get down to the what. I think some of you are less sophisticated than others in explaining to your prospective resellers what's in it for them. And that's kind of how people work, right? You need to start not by giving them some long narrative of what we do, but start with what's in it for them. And so, for example, let's role play with Joe here. So, hey, Joe, I'm looking to work with a couple professionals that would be interested in earning $5,000 up front for each referral, and 5 points on the back end. So I know we've not described, pause in the role play. I know I've not described to Joe at all what we do, but I think if you talk to individuals that are especially in the industry, when you start with this comp plan, I think their ears are going to perk up because this is about the best comp plan that you're going to find, right? 5,000 up front plus 5% on the back end. And they pay nothing. They don't have to sign a contract. They don't have to commit to anything. They don't have to pay anything. I don't know that you're going to find a better comp plan. I think that's going to be very attractive to these types of individuals as well as these. Now, we can't just stop with money because they don't have any idea what we do, but I would start with the money. And I think some of you start with a long description of shelf corps and this and that. We need to start with the money because not everyone's a sales professional, and that's okay. But sales professionals are worried about the damn comp plan first and foremost. And so if you're not a sales professional, you may feel like a fish out of water, but you can be a non-sales professional and manage a sales team. But this is what is going to be the first concern of your prospective resellers. Now, I understand we need to describe more in that to them, but we need to start the conversation and get them interested. All right, so then let's move to the why. So as I mentioned, we can start with the comp plan, but we're going to have to describe what we do. And so we provide entrepreneurs a free fundable shelf corporation with guaranteed access to funding. Now, this is a very concise one-sentence introductory description. I know there's more to it, but that's pretty close to what I would recommend that we describe. So with that being said, that will probably resonate with these people and these people. It may not resonate with the barber down the street. It may not resonate with the FedEx delivery driver. But this is in a nutshell what we do. And that gets to Joe's question of if he was going to provide a prospective reseller one of these training videos. Because what I don't think you want to do is send your prospective resellers to our YouTube channel and they're left navigating through all of these trainings. They'll probably freeze up, right? It's too much. So what I would do is if I were going to send one link to my prospective resellers, Joe and everyone else, it would be this training from last Friday because it breaks down in great detail the economic model. And again, that's what salespeople are primarily worried about. What's the economic model? What's in it for them? So the fast money right here is the one that I would send Joe. All right, so we've covered the who, we've covered the what, we've covered the why. And then how do we submit partners, referral partners? So here on 509 Pacific, they're going to come in here and they're going to put in their name, email, and phone. Now you could put it in for them if you want, that's fine because this is not a contract, but we need to make sure that your name is listed here. And then in our system, we'll set them up in your hierarchy. So every time they're paid, you're paid. If you need a report, we can run reports. They'll be set up properly as long as they put your name in that note field. So that's what these instructions say. Go to 509 Pacific, submit your interest, and then they need to list you as the referral source. If you're worried about them actually remembering your name, then you probably didn't make a very dominant impression. This is not designed for you just to go put a million names in. If they're not interested, if you've not prepped them, don't just drop a bunch of names in. That doesn't serve anyone well. But let them know that, as I mentioned earlier, that once they fill out the form, once they fill out this form, then what's going to happen is that they're going to receive an implementation packet via email. It's going to come from support@guaranteedfunding.org. And it's going to have what in it? More important than anything else, it's going to have the editable client agreement. They're going to take our information off, put theirs on, and they'll be ready to start making money in 15 minutes. If they're not as sophisticated as you are, or they don't know how to edit a Word document, then help them edit the Word document. If they don't know how to use Adobe or DocuSign for e-signatures, then you help them do that. I mean, you're making $5,000 override up front on each of their deals and 5 points. So that's the role of what we call the team leader, state director, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we need you to support them, and you've got a considerable financial interest in doing so. With you having no cost, they have no cost, no risk. So the bottom of the page here is just our standard contact information, our phone number, email, but the best way to get support as a reseller is to text us, 903-347-8042. Funny story, had a gentleman overnight text, and so this morning we text back and said, okay, we'll give you a call. And once the office opens, a person texted back, said, okay. So we got to the office and called him, and he's like, who are you? And he had no recognition who we were. So it was the strangest thing in the world. It's like, we've been texting this morning. But regardless, the texting works well. If we need to just sit down and have a call, we want to schedule that call. Many of you kind of expect on-demand service, but that's very difficult. We have 500 pushing 600 of you, plus we're primarily working with clients. So we need to try to address your questions as we can during these Zooms, and then whenever possible, text us. The 509 Pacific website, which we've been on, has the quick cash, which isn't the point today, has the space to submit in referral partners, which we also call grant coordinators. And then we've talked about the YouTube channel. So, okay, so let's get to your questions, comments, concerns. My goal today was to encourage you to think about being a team leader. Doesn't cost you anything. It's the ability to build a team of resellers, cost them nothing, cost you nothing, and then you get valuable overrides. Okay, Ron's asking a good question. So resellers are only reselling the shelf corporations, so nothing else. So like Ron's seen other things on our website, like we do business coaching and we have the quick cash and other things. So resellers are trained, supported, and paid only on the shelf corporations. Resellers are made 5,000, paid 5,000 and 5%. Team leaders are paid the same, 5,000 and 5%. But that's it to the comp plan. That's it to what the reseller does. Thank you, Ron, for asking. All right, so Doug's going back and I clarified, and I'm going to put in writing, so I need to use my big voice. The RMP is not required. If you don't know what the RMP is, that's okay. I don't want to pollute it. I don't want to convolute the discussion. But the RMP, it's not required to earn overrides. We've changed it. We've made it simpler. So thank you, Doug, for pointing that out. Some people are still hung on that. That used to be the case. That's true. It's not the case as of yesterday. So when we're giving you the steps of how, we're not like skipping some steps and trying to bait and switch. These are the steps. Okay. So who else has questions regarding, let's start with, do you know how you get paid as a reseller? And secondly, do you know how you get paid overrides? Can you type yes or no if you understand the comp plan? Want to make sure everyone understands the comp plan. And again, we have a training on the comp plan right here, this fast money. That's crazy helpful. We have a demonstration, editable Excel that we go through. But it's the answer is simple, right? It's simple. Okay, Christopher says no. So Christopher, it's my fault. It's my fault. So I'm going to do this better. The comp plan is two parts. You make 5,000 up front and you make 5% on the back end. That's the comp plan. That's the comp plan. Overrides. You make 5,000 on the front end and you make 5% on the back end. It's the same. It's the same. So now if you say, well, where does this 5,000 come from? Remember, clients have no out-of-pocket cost. With approved credit, our approach is clients can buy a Fundable Shelf Corporation and they have no out-of-pocket cost. They sign the contract with the reseller uploads it into the portal. We send the finance app to the client fills it out. As long as the client's credible, they're getting multiple offers, typically more than enough to pay for the Shelf Corp. Typically, will end up providing them extra working capital. So from that, then they're going to pay you, because people say, well, how long does it take to get this 5,000? Right away, same day. We're going to get the client financing. We handle that part. Client gets, let's say client gets 25,000 of what we call first tranche financing. If that doesn't make sense, you can go back to some of these other trainings. But the bottom line is their first round of funding, they receive, the client receives, and they pay you. They pay you. You're not waiting for us to pay you. You're not waiting for someone else to pay you. You're paid directly on day one. They get funding and they pay you, and they don't have to have any money out of pocket with approved credit. Then we get the Shelf Corp to them. Takes us about 7 days to get that package and over to them. Then we're able to go after funding, and of their funding, the reseller makes 5 points and the override is the same 5 points. We charge the client 10 points and we pay out 100% of that. We're not making any of that, which is fine. We're supported by the grant as a nonprofit. Okay, so does that help? Now, again, if you need a deeper training, you can go back and maybe go to the FAQ training, but that's a synopsis. You need to understand how you're paid. And again, I say this, and I know some of you make so much damn money that 5,000 a day is not even a big deal for you. You take Linzo, who's on here, you take Rod, who's on here. I know a lot of you, an extra 5,000 a day is lunch money. But if you do it consistently, 5,000 a day, if you're just average as a reseller, you're enrolling 5 a week, that's 25,000 a week, 100,000 a month. And that's just on the front end. It's not pie in the sky. It's not too good to be true. It's just be average. Do a deal a day. And then, of course, the larger money comes from the back end. We had some questions yesterday, and I think that was from Tarana or Tariana. And she, I think it was Tariana yesterday, asked, can they make more off the back end? Can we jack up the performance fee? No, we have a set performance fee of 10%. We're not going to charge the client more. Half of that goes to the reseller, half of that goes to the team lead. And so that's what it is. So if you feel like we're leaving money on the table and we should be charging the client more than 10%, I don't know what to say. That's the model that we have. We collect 10% and we pay all 10% out. All right, looks like Vincent's asking about, the free word. So yeah, let's go down and free. So yes, clients will have no out-of-pocket cost with approved credit to get their Shelf Corp. We'll get them financing. They'll pay you. And then after they go through the funding process, then the grant reimburses up to 20,000 for the cost of the Shelf Corp. So in the end, it is free, but they will finance it, but they should have zero out of pocket as long as they're credible enough to get a loan to purchase the Shelf Corp from you. All right, any other questions? The YouTube channel should be really helpful. If you've not gone through the trainings, you may want to consider it. Again, I know you're busy, but if earning an extra 25,000 a week, at least for the month of April, let's just said that we wanted to bear down and be average between now and May 1st. So if you could make an extra 75,000 this month, would it be worth a little bit of time in developing knowledge about how this works? I think so, but that's up to you. You've got to make your own decisions. But there's only so much time in the day, and the way to magnify, to replicate yourself is to have a team. We're not MLM, we're not network marketing, but to have a team. And it's great to have a team and they make the same that you make. So you're not competing with them for dollars. All right, with that being said, if you need anything, let us know. The best way to get support is to text us 903-347-8042. Have a great day, and we'll see you back tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.